What's up, everybody? Big Herc, and for another edition of Prison Talk. And I want to talk a little bit about what Obama's talking about doing with the private prisons. He's talking about getting rid of them. And what that would do would really impact our society as a whole. You know, people don't realize how much money is being made by these private prisons and how much that affects the police on the streets. You know, a lot of times these institutions put pressure on local law enforcement to patrol certain areas to create jobs. And what I mean by that is the jobs are reflected back in the institutions, because if these places are empty, the people working there don't have a job. So it goes back to these police patrolling these areas, picking on individuals, or kind of profiling individuals that would most likely be subjected to be charged with certain crimes, which would cause them to do time, which would, in this essence, place them in these empty beds in these private institutions. And so it all circled back. You start closing these fucking private institutions, you basically lay off all these people working in these damn prisons, give them something else to do that's more positive, and stop harassing people in the ghettos. And, I don't mean to sound biased, but the thing is, there are people out there doing dirt, people out there committing crimes, but at the same time, certain people are profiled. You go to certain communities and, people are being pulled over more often than not. And it's an issue in this country, because, like I said, these private prisons profit big time from having the beds filled. I mean, these places are traded on the stock market. They got to make a return for their investors. So, I think that housing inmates should be left to the government, and it would make better do to have a lot of these people in college. It costs over $70,000 to house an inmate a year. It costs roughly $30,000 to send to college. So why not send that same individual to college? Why are you going to put this young kid in prison around maybe career criminals, and now he becomes a career criminal?